Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Strange things on the road. I remember as a kid on more than one occasion I'd see cars driving backwards, as well as driving with no one actually behind the wheel or in the car. I seem to remember seeing this pretty clearly, and on more than one occasion. I have no idea or explanation for it. Just saw what I saw. Has anyone else ever seen anything similar, or other bizarre things on the road?
I saw a flatbed truck driving itself while riding on a school bus. It wasn't just me either. The bus driver saw it too, and he quickly sped up to see it again for himself. That flatbed was a real shitty truck, so it could not have been equipped with any sort of self-driving technology. That shit wasn't really available for another 10 years. Another time, I was walking with my aunt and a friend. A big pickup truck nearly killed us. It came within roughly 3 to 5 feet of us as it tore straight over 2 curbs, and then kept going as if nothing happened. It was driving over 50 miles per hour in a 30 miles per hour zone. If we didn't stop to rest, we could have died. Both events happened between 2002 and 2006. When I think about it, the design of the flatbed might have had the driver sit back farther so it just appeared driverless. And the pickup might have been a drunk or careless driver. I have some others I cannot think of at the moment, but those 2 events won't leave my mind.
Be me with an FCRX7, S4NA, a Mazda with a couple of mods still slow. 3 years ago, an FCS4 Turbo 2, also a Mazda, crashed on a back road around here. Driver and car gone. Driving around last year, headed to a friend's place. End up on a local back road we all have fun on. I realized I took the wrong road. There are no roads or turnoffs on this road. Look in my rearview mirror to see some older headlights. Decided to turn my hazards on and make a 3-point turn. Wave the person by. As the car passes, look over to see an FC, bone stock white with turbo II on the side, basically a stock T2. I didn't put it together at the time. Thought it was cool and didn't bother to try and talk to him because I needed to get to my friend's house. Put the car in reverse and look back, putting my right arm on the back of the passenger seat. In my reverse lights, I see the front end of the FC. His headlights pop up, shining right in my eyes. Takumi instantly pops into my head. I didn't even realize he somehow got behind me. Look forward, adjust the mirror and get ready to touge. He pulls up past me. Right as he does, I step on it, and so does he. He gets the lead. I'm right on his ass. Start going around corners at touge speeds. Know this road fairly well. About midway through the touge, know a passing point is coming up. Long right-hand turn to a sharpish left. He goes on the inside as expected. I'm midway in the other lane. Know there are some bumps in the left-hand turn apex, say fuck it. As we're in the straights, I wind my loud-ass FC up to 8K. Get right up next to him. Look over to see just a black figure. Can't make out any details. As if when you see a car from far away with a heavy tint in the dark. Go into the left hand at high speeds. Hit a lot of bumps. Wheels almost bite on the fender. He gets behind me. Come out of the corner at Takumi speeds. Main straight till the last corner. Look back. Gone completely. There are no driveways, other roads, or turnoffs. Get mad and confused. Get to my friend's house. Tell him what happened. He brings up the Mazda from years ago. I tell him the road I was on, and it was the one the Mazda crashed on. Tell him the corner I passed him at. He tells me the T2 went the same line I did but hit bumps, causing his wheels to bite his fender and spin out, going off the road into a tree. I get mad goosebumps. He tells me not to be too worried since I won. Still spooked. Decided not to really drive that road at night anymore. A few months go by. A different friend has like an '05 Maxima with the V6 and manual. He calls me in the middle of the night telling me he crashed. I go to help. It's on the road with the Mazda. I asked him what happened. He tells me a car wouldn't get off his ass. Tried to lose him and ended up hitting some dirt trying to touge and spun out off the road. The car was fine. My friend was shaken up. I asked where the car went. It just fucking vanished. Spooked. I decide not to tell him to keep him calm-ish. Pick is my FC, on coils and has header-back exhaust. It's changed a bit now, but the cleanest picture of it.
I got a story my mum told me ages ago. Be a teenager. It was the mid-70s, if I remember correctly. Out with friends, just went to see a spooktacular movie. Driving around looking for something else to do, gotta keep the night alive. About 5 friends all packed into her old, boring 6-cylinder Mustang. I think that's what she had at the time. Friend 1 says, "Hey, let's go to that devil place on the bridge." Everyone, being young, crazy 70s potheads, agrees. They get to this bridge in the middle of fucking nowhere. Supposedly some woman killed her little boy and drowned him under the said bridge. Locals say if you park your car right in the middle, kill the engine, and put it in neutral, spirits will move your car along the bridge. The bridge is perfectly flat, according to locals. She kills the engine and waits a bit. They hear typical animal noises in the night. All of a sudden, something smacks the back of the car, like someone literally slapping the car with an open palm. The car fucking jolts forward like it's being driven by a kid learning to drive a stick. Mum freaks the fuck out, goes to start the car. The engine sounds like it's flooded. They finally get it started and tires screech the fuck out of there. They all had a good laugh about it after they calmed down, but my mum thinks they blocked the lurching forward part from their memories to cope with it. I mean, really, how does a car lurch forward that violently without any power or being hit from behind? Mum believes in ghosts and thinks an angry spirit slapped the shit out of her car. Didn't try to convince friends because she didn't want to spook them.
When I was 16, I saw a truck driving itself around 2 a.m. I was in Hicksville, Indiana, driving back from a shitty Halo LAN at a friend's house. I'd normally just drive home since it was only like 15 minutes away, and I'm not sleeping on the basement floor. It was a 70s Ford, not sure on exact year, but it was in front of me going pretty slow, I think about 40 miles per hour in a 50 miles per hour zone. It wasn't raining or anything. Eventually, I noticed there was no person in the cab, no shadow of a head at all. I figured they were just short, and I was tired. Once we got to like one of 2 passing places on that entire shitty highway, I went around and nope, no person. If they were short, they were so short, I saw no head or hands on the wheel. After I passed them, the truck slows way down and turns off its headlights. I seriously drove like 80 miles per hour home on a crappy southern Indiana highway and couldn't sleep. I've always tried to convince myself it was being tired, plus being a new driver. But holy shit. It's been really hard to shake the feeling that there was no one in that truck. Plus, I vividly remember the headlights just suddenly going dark. And since it was a cloudy night, it was like the truck just vanished. No turn or anything.
Fellow Hoosier here. Your story reminded me of one my mother and father used to tell me about. About 20 minutes away from my home, there's a little area locals used to call Podunk. A lot of states have their own Podunk legend, but ours was a little different. Back in the 80s, the area was famous for being home to a group of devil worshippers who regularly practiced things like animal sacrifice. People used to get their kicks by exploring the area, and would often report strange experiences like seeing red lights flashing through the fields and woods and hearing strange sounds like children crying in remote areas. By far the most famous attraction was the hearse. There was a hearse belonging to an old and particularly unpleasant man that was parked out along the road. And sometimes, if you were particularly unlucky, it would either start up as you passed by or appear seemingly from nowhere and start chasing you and attempt to run you off the road. Now, of course, the hearse made itself a target, and from time to time local men, my father included, would pile into large pickups and attempt to hunt it down in order to run it off the road or otherwise put a stop to it. But every time they tried this, the hearse was nowhere to be found. Note, I made an error in the previous post. Nobody knew to whom the hearse belonged. It would often park near the home of the old man. He claimed it wasn't his, but that may not have been totally true, as I'll mention later. The most interesting story I've heard of it comes from my mother. She and 3 of her friends, 2 females, 1 male, were exploring Podunk sometime in the evening. As they were driving along, the hearse pulled out from a spot concealed among the trees and blocked their path. After a 5-minute-long standoff, the man in the group decided he was going to be macho about it. He put the car in park, got out, and made his way to the hearse's driver's side door. He peered in through the window for a second and yanked open the door. My mother swears to this day that there was nobody inside. The man even circled the vehicle and opened the rear hatch. Nothing. Pic not related. It's just a generic image of a hearse I got off the web. The man returned to the car and confirmed what they had all just seen. There was nobody in the vehicle. As he got back in the car, the hearse fired itself back up. He had turned it off when he opened the driver door and sped off up the road. That's all I really know about it. It wasn't that much later that the old man died or moved away and the hearse simply vanished. That's why to this day most people think he had something to do with it, but nobody knows for sure. Nobody from around where I live ever debates the hearse's existence, and my dad says a lot of the weird stuff cleared out when the devil worshippers left. I've been to Podunk more than a few times, and I've never really seen much of anything paranormal. The only thing that's happened recently is cars being attacked by a guy swinging a bat. But that's most likely a local who was pissed at kids poking around.
Orlando here. The quarter-mile stretch by the bridge over Lake Monroe, right outside of Deltona, is called the Interstate 4 Deadzone. These numbers are a bit old, but there have been an estimated 1,048 to 1,740 car crashes at this location since the highway was opened in 1963, with a significant number involving fatalities. Florida State Highway Department records show that in just a 24-month period, beginning in 1995, there were 44 accidents which injured 65 motorists. Plus, there are many road cams and investigator photographs of accident scenes that depict orbs and ghostly figures. Why would some random stretch of highway be haunted? The area was originally settled by Native Americans from the Mayaca tribe, which were wiped out by disease and war, with colonists with many burials in the woods near where Interstate 4 was built. Then in 1877, nearby Sanford was formed. Swedish former indentured servants came in and settled the area by that stretch of Interstate 4. 10 years later, a fire broke out, destroying most of the settlement, immediately followed by a breakout of yellow fever and winter freeze, killing off a lot of the settlement, who were then buried in the nearby woods. Fast forward to the 1950s, when Interstate 4 was being planned and built. The engineers knew of and even found some of the graves, but since they were so old, they decided to leave them be and continue construction, building Interstate 4 right on top of them.
From /o/ be me. Be doing my 3 a.m. nightly runs up and down my favorite mountain road. Thick forests on both sides of the small 2-way road. It was a foggy night. Fog comes in slowly over the course of the night. Gets to a point where the fog is too heavy to keep going. Say fuck it, do a 3-point turn, and start heading back down. Listening to my Super Euro beat presents Initial D Final D Selection CD, Disc 2. Fog is getting much worse now. Fog lights are useless. Resort to driving near the edge of the road because I couldn't see the line anymore. And that's when I saw the legs of some person in a white robe through the edge of the fog, walking up the road towards me. Stop. The guy slowly starts walking up to my car. Looks like a homeless dude. Big shaggy beard, scraggly hair, etc. But his robe was clean, at least it looked like it. Looking dead at my side of the car the whole time he's walking up to it with a completely blank look on his face. He walks up to the passenger side of my door and just stood there with his arms at his sides. Slowly starts bringing his hands together in his sleeves. I sat there for a good 5 seconds before realizing that this is a perfect plot for a horror movie. I'm spooked. Rev that shit to 9K and dump it next to him. Take off. Drive a little more recklessly now through the fog. A few minutes later down the road near the end. Fog gone at the foothill, crystal clear again. And that's when I noticed the person in the white robe is sitting in the tree line looking at me, completely blank, as I drove towards the exit. This happened to me about a year ago before Halloween last year. Haven't seen the dude in white since. I've been on that road more than 100 times, and it was the first and only time I've seen him. I never go up even when it's the slightest bit foggy now. This is the road.
My coworker and I went out for lunch. On the way back, there was no traffic other than 6 cars on the side of the road, 3 on each side, facing the flow of traffic for that side. Each car had only one person, the driver, and each of their heads were down. So we were already freaking out, but as we passed each car, their heads would pop back up as if springing to life. And as we passed the last car, they all got back on the road and drove. I have zero explanation for what happened. No funeral cars going on. No emergency either. In the same area of the road, a friend and I were chased by a red truck that tried to hit us and run us off the road. We passed the man as he was standing outside the truck, though he looked odd in a raincoat with the weather having no rain that day. He yelled something at us, but we drove on. Then about 5 minutes later, he came flying up behind us and from there chased us for about a half hour till we lost him. Huntington, West Virginia, weird shit happens here all the time.
This was a bit before smartphones, and even if I had one, I don't think I would have thought of taking a picture. Imagine a pic related to the size of a small motorcycle. If a human was in it, he would have to be laying down to ride it, and there was no handle on the door, and the front window was black glass. It's the closest thing I could find to how it looked big. The difference was the wheels. The thing looked all like one piece, and I could only see 3 to 4 inches of the bottom of the wheel blocked by the one piece. Anyways, me and friend are driving down sunny Florida road one day, and to the right comes this vehicle thing. We start laughing, but after 10 to 20 seconds, we start to get worried and actually confused to what it could be. It's going maybe 60 miles per hour, but it soon starts going faster, trying to keep up with it now. Going 80 miles per hour, it just goes maybe 120 miles per hour, going left and right, dodging every car in front of it. We have no choice but to slow down and soon can't see it. Weirdest thing I've ever seen. Also, it didn't have a NASA logo on it, but it did have some type of logo that looks similar. The best I can figure is that someone was testing something.
Be 15-year-old me. One night, I borrowed my mom's C-Class to try some skids in an empty snowy parking lot at our town's supermarket. Get stuck in the snow because 16-year-old me couldn't grasp the concept of the traction control off button. Get out of the car, realize it's completely dark. The only light nearby is the dim green supermarket entrance light. The supermarket has rubber mats in front of the entrance so people don't slip. I think I could use these mats to get some traction. Crouch down in front of the supermarket entrance to pick up one of the rubber mats. Stand up. Look through the glass door of the supermarket. See a completely pale face staring at me from a few meters behind the glass door. It didn't move at all. Almost got a heart attack. Run to a friend's house and ask him for help. Together we went back with shovels and some loose gravel, got the car free, and went home. I didn't tell him about what I've seen, and I didn't go near the supermarket again. Didn't go near the supermarket for a week and never when it was dark. I want to believe it was just a cardboard stand-up. It probably was, but I still almost crapped myself.
With my girlfriend out in the mountains, cuddling. Suddenly I hear fast walking toward the car. Hear a door handle being jiggled. Jump into the driver's seat. Yell at my girlfriend to toss me the keys while shouting, "What the fuck was that?" Hit the alarm button in a panic, trying to fumble with the keys. Start up the car and drive out of there in my boxers and socks. Couldn't see anything because of foggy windows. Blasting the defroster, hoping I don't hit a ditch. My girlfriend shouts, "Good thing you locked the car!" Scrambling to make it out. Kick it on my shitty Chrysler 200, going 50 miles per hour. Drive home half naked while we talk about what we just experienced. Couldn't be a person fucking with us for shits and giggles. Isolated off-roading spot at 2 a.m. in the freezing cold. No other cars, especially since it was a weekday and the spot is relatively isolated. Couldn't be an animal since the only animals out there were rabbits, bats, and owls. Didn't see any headlights in the valley or coming in since it was 2 a.m., and we were relatively near the entrance. Never go there again at night. It's probably been the most terrified I've ever been in recent times. No other off-roaders in the area since we were on top of the mountain, and I didn't see a single car when I went to take a piss. We were lying down, so to the outside it would have looked like the car was empty. But that doesn't make sense because we were pretty loud, so it wasn't anyone doing any checking up since they would have friendly knocks. I genuinely think whoever tried to open the door intended anything but good, since a few months prior I remember seeing a lone figure carrying a shovel wearing completely normal clothing. We were out off-roading, piled into my Cherokee, and all of a sudden someone says, "Hey, who's that?" And like a horror movie, we saw someone jump into the bushes carrying a shovel, and we got the fuck out of there.
Be me, on a church trip, listening to music and watching the other cars on the highway. Red convertible beside us. A van starts to pass. I'm still focused on the car. Get right next to it. Notice a man driving, a woman passenger. Dressed like they were going to the beach. Both had on sunglasses. When the car is parallel to my window, the man and woman turn in unison very quickly and stare at me. The van had tinted windows, but I ducked down in my seat. Stop for food. The same car, same couple pull up, walking side by side in perfect sync. Head to the bathroom together. A few minutes later, after my group got their food, sitting in a booth, the couple emerges, still in perfect unison. Walk up to the counter, stare at the menu for about 5 minutes, and leave. Keep seeing them pop up on the highway until we get to our hotel. Tell my cousin about it, but no one else.
Driving with friend at night coming back from party. On empty country road, some sort of black shadowy mass flies across the road mere feet from us. Few seconds later, friend pipes up. "So we just not gonna talk about that or what?" Riding motorcycle back from evening classes at local community college. 1 lane each way, car in front puts on his blinker to turn right onto wooded gravel road. Far enough back that I can engine brake and not be bothered. He turns, disappears behind trees. 5 seconds later, I pass the turn he took, and it's a locked and chained horse gate. No car in sight. Gravel looks like it hasn't been disturbed in years. Driving to a party at 11 p.m. in the back country. About to drive over a bridge with a truck parked on the shoulder just before it. Slow down to see what's what. Truck is white with light cloth interior and driver door open. Get up next to it at about 3 miles per hour with windows down. Guy sitting in driver's seat, shirt and pants have suspicious red stains, grinning like the devil at me. Heart sinks into stomach when he lunges out toward my passenger door. Peel out. Didn't enjoy the party. Driving friend back from party from story above. Only way back is over the bridge, windows up and doors locked. Friend is blacked out drunk. We get over the bridge with no signs of anything. Truck is gone. Still out, friend says. Did you see it? Something bangs on the driver window and I peel out even harder than last time with tears in my eyes. Fucking terrifying bridge.
Late night, very early morning. Flying down the highway at high speed. Cold outside. Use the engine air loop and set the ventilation to use the legroom ports. Comfy. The seat feels so soft, like it's caressing my entire body. It's like I'm floating in some kind of warm, fuzzy ether. Notice some car passing me and merging into my lane. Don't pay much attention to him. Space out, or more like pass out. Blood-red eyes and a gaping maw full of white teeth lunge at me with a monstrous roar from the eternal darkness. Snap back into reality, slam the brakes. Oversped, going over 100 miles per hour, and nearly rear-ended the passing car. The red eyes were the tail lights, and the white teeth were the license plate lights. No rest stop nearby, so I put the ventilation system on pure cold exterior air, full blast. Too scared to even blink in case I fall asleep again. I love doing my commutes in the dark on empty roads, but I can't cope with comfy conditions in such situations.
Ghost car. About midnight or so. 416 northbound on way to Ottawa. Headlights in rear view approaching. Courtesy dim of my high beams so he can pass without being blinded. Headlights get up to my blind spot and then nothing. Fucking gone. Didn't pass me, no longer behind me, not in blind spot. Wife saw the same thing. Starts freaking out. Car just fucking disappeared. I slow down and pull over, worried the car went off the road. Nothing but cliff face roadsides. Road cut into the hills. Nowhere to actually run off the road. The car was fucking gone. There was nowhere to turn around. No access to the other side of the 416. Solid rock between the north and south pavement. He just fucking vanished.
Be me, a rural Dane from a family that's lived for hundreds of years in the same area. Most farmers there work the land, the only livestock being a pig farmer and the odd cow someone keeps for milk and meat. Know lots of old spooky histories. Go to Church Hill, named for how people about to be hung could see a local cathedral standing on the gallows at 1 or 2 in the morning on Christmas Eve, and you can hear the hanged sing in the wind, begging to be let into heaven. Go into the woods or fields and you might see ghost lights trying to trick you into one of the old and hungry bogs. Tales about dead robbers and their victims haunting around places in the forest, as well as the people in the old convent ruins. I grew up with these tales and was driving to check on my parents' home on a late evening. The road goes around Church Hill and turns 90 degrees at the base before sloping into a valley. Round the bend in my trusty Mazda B 2200 diesel, rumbling along, having a cigarette and feeling content, relaxed. Suddenly there's a sea of greenish orbs going all the way from Church Hill into the valley. Tactically shit myself, childhood stories of local shit and half-remembered things I might or might not have seen as a child going through my head. Fumble for an iron axe I keep in the truck for when my friends and I are going camping. Before our weapon laws were tightened and axes in the car became illegal. As I rolled further around the bend, having slowed my truck to grasp at the axe, my headlights hit the source of the orbs. Fucking sheep. So when all was said and done, I felt pretty autistic. Of course, my parents knew that one of the local farmers had decided to invest in mutton, but didn't think it was relevant knowledge. Not as much a spoop as me getting spooked by fucking animals.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel, as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.